to 1790 as a percentage of gross domestic product. If you look beyond where we are now, the spike well above 120% of domestic product. In practical terms, what does that mean for the millennial generation?
Well, it means a lot. I mean, if you go back, this is the first thing to point out is what the era that we're entering in we've never seen before, right? So the current debt, even before it starts going up even further, is higher than at any point in history other than World War II. But during World War II, you had a brief, huge, extraordinary spike, but it was only for a brief period. And once the war was over, there was a precipitous drop. Whereas now, the problems we've been talking about today in terms of retirement programs, healthcare costs, those are driving it up, and it's actually going to reach 144% of gross domestic product. That means that, in theory, if you took all the economic output we have in a year and put it exclusively toward paying off the debt, which we're not going to do, it still wouldn't be enough to pay off the debt, and it will continue to grow. And so that, to me, is a huge worry, and what economists fear is what is known as a fiscal crisis. Now, in a fiscal crisis scenario, essentially, markets start to become skittish about purchasing U.S. debt, and maybe they demand much higher interest rates. And then it becomes a vicious cycle, because if they demand higher interest rates, your borrowing costs go up, it gets harder to make a dent in the debt, and then it gets harder to reinsure investors, and you have to start to make ugly choices, such as immediate massive tax increases, massive severe spending cuts. You have to worry about inflation, and it's an ugly place. Now, we don't know what the magic number is when this would happen, but there's a broad consensus among economists that the larger the debt grows without any plan to do anything about it, increases the likelihood that we'll see some sort of crisis like that.
We have a phone line for millennials, 202-748-8000.